All right, what's going on, guys? We are back with another Dokkan battle video, and today we're getting some news for the live broadcast that's going to be happening in Tokyo. So this is something that was already kind of announced here, like as a little while ago, actually, that they would be doing this, but now they're actually putting out more info about it. They're giving the link to the actual live stream. So basically what they're doing here is, in order to celebrate the 10th anniversary year, they're trying to be a little more engaging and trying to be, bring a little bit more hype to all these celebrations and do a little bit more, right, to kind of celebrate 10 years of Dokkan. So what we have here is they are basically going to be doing a fan meetup event, kind of like how they did the one in LA during the TDC, where they showed off like the new Broly. They had people doing like the speed battles. They had a bunch of stuff like there for everybody to kind of take part in. So it seems like they're going to be doing the same thing here. It's just going to be over in Japan this time. So what can we expect from this? So if we look through this real quick, so to celebrate 10th anniversary year, the producer's letter will be live at the venue. So this is kind of a big deal, right? Producer's letters, they typically either, they tweet them out, or sometimes they do a little video, or, occasionally they will do live streamed producer's letters whenever there is something big happening, right? During some of the bigger celebrations, they'll typically do this. Now, if you go ahead and click on the link here, this will give you the exact time that it starts for you, right? It shows here that it's going to be starting on the 24th at 21 PST. Now, we are actually in DT, not ST, so you would add an hour to this. So if you're on the Pacific, you're on the West Coast, this will actually be 10 o'clock at night. So for me, that's actually 1 in the morning on the 25th. So, click the link, brings me here. It'll show you right down here in the corner, live in 4 days, October 25th at 1 a.m. So that right there is a way for you to go ahead and check and see when in your exact time zone that this is actually going to take place, when you need to be ready to watch this. Unfortunately, with this being so early, I'm on the fence on whether or not I'm actually going to stay up for this, because if it actually is something incredibly hype and exciting, it's going to be 1 a.m. in my house, and my office that I record all my videos in is across the room from where my daughter sleeps, and I would not want to wake her up at 1 in the morning with me screaming my head off because we get something crazy. So I'm kind of weighing the options here on whether or not I will look at this right away. Either way, if I don't do it right then, I'll do it like basically as soon as I wake up a couple hours later, and make sure to avoid any kind of spoilers. That way you guys can get my full initial reaction to this announcement here and what we're actually going to be getting. Now, as for what are we going to get? So basically they talk about here that they are going to reveal a lot of things. So they talk about, check this info on the info on the campaigns and new character. So my thought here is they're going to, one, probably talk a little bit about the upcoming Halloween campaign, because that's going to be the next thing starting. It's kind of like its own little thing that goes over the next few days, or over that like week, all through Halloween, right? We get the new like free-to-play fun gimmick cards, which was announced through the V-Jump links, as the Angel Yamcha and Princess Snake, which is a pretty unique card. They usually are like pretty cool cards, right? You had the Gohan and Icarus, you had 17 and Android 8, you had the Angel Deborah and Pycon, Oolong and Launch, right? So you got like all these different like kind of characters that are these free-to-play, nothing crazy actual units, but they're just cool. They're kind of fun to have, and it is fun that they do this every year, and I'm glad that they do keep this up. So with the Yamcha and the Princess Snake going to be this year's, I'm sure that they'll kind of announce that here. They'll probably talk a bit about the campaign that's going to go on, and then probably lead a little bit more into the next Dokkanfest, which will likely happen on the 31st. Because that's typically around the time we start seeing that Halloween Dokkanfest, right? So as for what that could be, it is a toss-up. It's a toss-up, man. You could go with anything really that you could think of, and you'd probably be on the right track, because there's no actual way to know And I think the only thing that people are kind of going off of is the fact that they are doing this as a live event, a live announcement, that means that it's got to be something big. And where I agree, it's not always the case with Dokkan. It's not always the case, right? They could do this and then it could end up being like, I don't want to say like a low level character, maybe like a mid character. You know, it could be somewhere in that realm. Now, I have a couple thoughts about some things we might see. Obviously, these aren't like anything set in stone. There's no validity behind any of them. It's all just like random guesses of random characters that I've either heard people talking about or I've kind of thought about myself, or, you know, and there's gonna be an obvious one here that I'm sure it's on everybody's mind and immediately came to my mind as well, knowing this is a live stream, and that is Daima. Anything Daima would be great. It's still grossly omitted from this game, and it's insane. At this point, we're all pretty much convinced it's got to be Anniversary. Now, nothing says they can't drop a Dokkanfest as the October 31st, you know, new unit, and then still not do something for Anniversary, right? So they could 100% drop something Daima here and then still do Daima for Anniversary. So let's look at a couple things. So looking over the past few years, so last year we had the Lord Slug, right? Dropped on October 31st. So he came out, he was very good. This was like the first like October Dokkanfest where both JP and Global were synced up. So we got him, actually, yeah, we got him at the same time, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we were synced up by this point because this is after the worldwide celebration. So we both got this at the same time. Now, the year prior was the Piccolo and Gohan, right? JP got this on October 31st. We did not get it until March 1st. So this was a unit that people were kind of waiting on and honestly isn't really all that great. And then before that was Bardock, who admittedly his celebration was dog shit. just to put it bluntly, it was dog shit celebration. The unit himself, he was very good. His entrance animation was beautiful, still is, and it's a damn shame that they did not do him a little bit more justice. But again, we didn't get this guy until March 1st, but JP got him as the Halloween Dokkanfest. Now, what are some ideas that I've seen get float around, some things that maybe we could see? Garlic Jr. is one of them that kind of popped up a lot that I've been seeing as a possible option, right, to get a movie version of this guy, right? This is the only representation of Garlic Jr. that we have in the game, and he's just like a side banner unit that is from like the filler episode. So we could definitely see like a movie boss's version of Garlic Jr. I think would be a cool idea as a Dokkanfest for Halloween. I'll throw a bone here to my boy Toon and just throw out Zarbon, just because I know that's what he guesses every single celebration. So why not join him on that train here? We'll go talk about Zarbon here a little bit because he definitely deserves a Dokkanfest. Now, moving into October, or like the end of October into November, right? We typically end up having the crossover celebration with Heroes. Heroes is no longer going. Heroes is done. Now, Dokkan's already said that they will continue the EZAs for the already given Heroes units in the game, but I don't believe we're going to get any more Heroes units. Now, we could fill that void with some crossover stuff. So a couple of crossover things I've been seeing. Obviously, Shallot, right? He was one of the guesses we had for one of the characters earlier this year, which ended up being Tao. So Shallot could be a cool crossover character. Gohan Black is another one that I've seen thrown around, which I think would be incredibly cool to get in this game, and be able to play as Gohan Black just because, dude, it'd be so much fun to be able to do something like that. So like having these two guys as an option here, I do like, you know, kind of in sync with, you know, something cool October-y, and then going into a kind of crossover celebration in November. I think it would be very fun. So I'm throwing their hat into the ring here. And then obviously we got to end it with Daima. So Daima Mini Goku seems like the no-brainer choice here to do. And then going into Anniversary, you do the adult form of Super Saiyan 4. You do the adult form of Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. You know, because at this point, if you give him the October Dokkanfest slot, then you could easily do the adults together, right? Because we'd have both the mini versions. So Goku seems like the no-brainer choice. Goku seems like the easy ballpark, like super win, right? And for them to do something that is a live announcement, why not do something very hype, right? You're gonna do something like, if people are gonna gather to see these animations and gather to see this information, like, you're gonna want to give them something. You know, you're not gonna want to just be like, oh, I'm glad we gathered you all here today, and then boom, Garlic Jr. And they're gonna be like, oh, yeah, I mean, that's cool, but like, I guess I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go home now. This kind of sucks. So, you know, we definitely want to see something huge. We want to see a big unit released. I say, give the mini Goku his shine, his spotlight right here. Do that, then go into Anniversary, get the big boys out, and I think you'll do just fine. Now, another one you can definitely do that I think would fill that void is Goma, whether it be, you know, regular Goma or whether it be giant Goma. Either or, I think, fits the Halloween slot very, very well. So, if it's not going to be Super Saiyan 4 Goku Mini, if it's Goma, I'm 100% on board with that, and I think that would be a very good choice as well. So, these are just some of my thoughts and some of my picks on who I think we could see as the October Dokkanfest. Let me know your guys' thoughts on what you think we could see coming up here for this. What time is this going on for you? It's like I said, this is gonna be very early for me and probably not a very ideal time for me to be up and watching this, especially if it does end up being our boy right here. I'll probably scream, and we don't want to be waking the baby by doing that. So, yep. So we got this producer's letter coming up here in the next couple days. Definitely looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to seeing what they are dropping for these campaigns, for these characters, and looking forward to what we have coming next. So if you guys stuck around to the end of the video, I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with me. Let me know your guys' thoughts on some of these choices that I gave. Let me know what some of the choices you guys would like to see, and let's talk about that a little bit more. Like, subscribe to the thing, and I'll see you guys next time. See you.